What is going on, YouTube? This offseason is going to be fucking juicy, man. We've got the NBA draft coming up. We've got free agency coming up. We've got all this stuff going on with Zion Williamson, Morant, all this crazy shit. Today, I'm going to be talking through what's next for every single team that was eliminated from the 2023 NBA playoffs in the Western Conference. So look, if you guys enjoy the video, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. First up, we've got the Golden State Warriors, okay? So they obviously lost in the Western Conference semifinals to the Lakers, and I think for them, their main offseason goals, I've split them into two things, really. One, they need to trade Jordan Poole, okay? Plain and simple. Like, I feel bad for Poole. Like, obviously, he didn't show up in the playoffs. He was a defensive liability. Offensively, he didn't do jack shit. Like, he was terrible. Let's not get confused, right? But with that being said, can you blame him for playing terribly or being in a shitty situation when one of the guys he should be looking up to fucking punched him in the face, knocked him out basically? And then on top of that, the entire Warriors organization just swept it under the rug, didn't penalize Draymond, didn't do anything just because, you know, Draymond obviously helped win the Warriors 4 different titles, right? So, like, think about it. If that was your employer doing that to you, that's some fucking bullshit. I think he's in a toxic situation. He needs to get out. And the Warriors, like, I think they should just trade him because I don't think Poole and Draymond is going to work, you know, as teammates moving forward. That's all they see each other as right now, just teammates. That's it. It's not healthy. It's weird for the other guys as well. So I think they got to move on from him, especially since he's still got some trade value. Let's not forget he averaged over 20 points per game this season. He's shown flashes of all-star potential. He's got great shot creating ability, great shooting, all that stuff, right? So I think you should sell high on Jordan Poole. Well, I don't know if you're selling high because he fucked up in the playoffs, but considering where he came from and where he was drafted, he's doing pretty well. And I think the Warriors should try and trade him, get what you can in return for him. A win-now piece, perhaps, right? And speaking of a win-now piece, you need a reliable second option next to Steph. Because we saw in the playoffs, the Warriors are way too over-reliant on Steph, man. Clay, you know, respect to him, future Hall of Famer, obviously. 4 rings, that's all he shows off nowadays. But he is not a second option. He's too trigger-happy. He takes pretty bad shots, if I'm being honest with you. And even pre-injury, pre-ACL, pre-Achilles, all that kind of stuff, he was never known as someone that could create his own offense. Obviously, Jordan Poole was meant to be that guy who could help out a lot, and I still definitely think he has the potential to be a great shot creator on a team, but I just don't know if it's going to be on the Warriors. Andrew Wiggins, look, he's more of a complimentary piece, so that's what I've got for the Warriors. All right, so for the Los Angeles Clippers, I have their offseason priority being figuring out what direction the team wants to go to. Honestly, I don't think they're going to go in a full-on rebuild, but I think the question is, do you run it back with the same core, which has failed over and over again because its 2 stars can't seem to remain healthy at the same time, or do you go towards a different direction, okay? So, and right now, as of today, there's actually some rumors that, you know, the Clippers are shopping Kawhi and PG, I believe, and they're eyeing that number 3 pick, which is looking like it's going to be Scoot Henderson, and if I'm the Clippers, I fucking pounce on that straight away, man, because like I said, they haven't really achieved much with this Kawhi and PG era. They're hard capped. They can't bring Russell Westbrook back for anything more than 120% of the veterans minimum. So if he does come back, it's on a massive pay cut. Maybe they get CP3. I don't know. There's just so many question marks with this team, right? It's an aging roster. They got a lot of old guys on their team, you know, and the pieces just don't fit very well. And right now, when you've still got Paul George at the prime of his career, I don't know if I can say the same about Kawhi. Maybe I can, but he's just too unhealthy. But Paul George, very much still in the middle of his prime. If you can move him for a number 3 pick and kickstart your rebuild with a guy like Scoot Henderson, I think you have to do it, man. But if they don't do it, the alternative is to run it back. And if you run it back, you look at all your upcoming free agents, you look at the fact that they're hard capped, it's an aging roster. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces. For one, I think guys like Plumlee, Eric Gordon, Marcus Morris Sr., they're as good as gone. I think they're gone. I think if you're going to retool the roster, you know, maybe try and bring in some young-ish players that can contribute now. And if you decide to, you know, let's say rebuild in a year or 2, they can still be part of that rebuild. So I think that's what they have to do. But yeah, if I'm the Clippers right now, I take that Scoot Henderson number 3 deal straight away. So that's what I've got for the Clippers. Look, for the Lakers, firstly, I think they got to run it back with the same core surrounding LeBron and AD, okay? Re-sign Reeves at whatever the cost is. The max he can get paid is $98 million. I think he's already worth that right now, let alone in 4 years' time when that contract will end. I think he's worth it straight away. Bring Rui Hachimura back. see if you can bring back D'Angelo Russell on a cheaper deal, like in that $12 to $15 million range, because, yeah, I don't know if his... yeah, I'm not going to say too much about D'Angelo Russell. And then in addition to that, you got to find some hidden gems in free agency, okay? Because Dennis Schroeder, you might be able to bring back if he accepts to come back on, you know, the MLE, which is $6.5 million, which I think he's played himself out of that contract. But if he does want to come back for whatever reason, you snag that up straight away. Lonnie Walker's as good as gone. I think man, if you can bring Dennis back or D'Angelo Russell, I think Chris Paul isn't needed, but I think if you want to bring Chris Paul on board, it'll be wise to keep one or the other, whether it's D'Angelo or Dennis, and whoever it isn't, just let them walk and try and get a different piece in return. So I'd be eyeing Chris Paul as well if I'm the Lakers. Like, yeah, he's old, but the Lakers, they could use another primary ball handler because Schroeder and Russell, they're not true point guards. Find some hidden gems in free agency. Obviously, they signed like Lonnie Walker to that MLE deal this season. They signed Monk to that last off season. So they've gotten some good value. So if you can bring Schroeder back, that's a must. The third thing I've got is add a center who can just bang in the low post, you know, no homo. Bang in the low post with Jokic. Pause. Yeah, just someone like a 2020 Dwight who can protect the rim, rebound, defend the post. That's literally all you need. Someone that can, you know, you can start alongside AD or bring him off the bench. As long as you can make AD play a bit of 4, it's probably better for his body long term anyway. That's what you need if you're the Lakers, okay? Next up, I've got the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I'm going to be real here, bro. These cunts are fucked, okay? Ja Morant suspended for 25 games, and who knows what kind of impact that's going to have on the rest of the team once he does return. And now the Grizzlies are looking to shop Tyus Jones, who's one of the best backup point guards in the NBA. And they're looking to put him in a starting spot somewhere else, whatever it may be. And I believe, if I remember correctly, they're trying to get some wing depth in return, which is a good thing. But it's not good because you're going to be without your starting point guard. Your backup point guard's going to be gone. Like, I don't even know who their third string point guard is, if I'm being 100% honest with you right now. So you have to figure out that point guard situation. I don't know if I'd trade Tyus Jones right now. Maybe trade him once Ja Morant comes back. But hey, CP3's on the market. And if that's what it takes to keep the team afloat, you know, keep them afloat for a low playoff seed or a play-in seed, whatever it is, you got to go after CP3 as well. There's a lot of teams that can use him, okay? And then, yeah, they're also losing Dylan Brooks as well, who, yeah, I know he's a meme, he's a dickhead, all that kind of stuff, but it's still a sizable loss for a team that's already kind of thin on the wings. So Memphis Grizzlies, yeah, look, I don't know. It's a bit shaky for them. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I think they should run it back with the core that they have right now. And that is actually the tweet that went out like a day or two ago, whatever it was. Hey, I swear to God, I had this written down before that tweet came out. But anyways, if you look at the stats, the starting 5 of Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Towns, and Gobert, they only played in 7 games together all season long. They went 5-2, man. So it's not a bad team when they're fully healthy. I think they should definitely run it back. And secondly, the biggest priority for their offseason, you know, coinciding with running it back, is bringing back Naz Reid and bringing back Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They're the 2 biggest free agents. Look, Naz Reid is one of the best backup centers in the entire league and someone that any team can use. There's a lot of people that want him already. And right now, he's already the Timberwolves' 3rd best scorer, in my opinion. He's a very valuable piece, and you need to have that 3rd big who can start alongside either Towns or Gobert because of his shooting. So he's very versatile for this Timberwolves team. I think you have to bring him back at all costs because, hey, I'm not going to lie. After him, I don't know who their 4th big is, okay? And so as for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, hey, he showed his worth in the playoffs too. You know, he's a long, rangy defender who, you know, hits some threes, all that kind of stuff. You need those guys in your team. And I think between the versatility of him, you know, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, that's a nice little defensive trio they got going on. So I think bring him back, run back the core if you're Minnesota, okay? Now, if you're the Phoenix Suns, moving on, explore trades. This is self-explanatory. Explore some trades for DeAndre Ayton. See what you can to fill out the roster, okay? Obviously, it's no secret that Ayton and Monty Williams didn't get along as a player and coach, and now that Frank Vogel's in town, maybe it'll help a bit, maybe it won't, I don't know. There might be some shit going on behind the scenes that none of us will know about, maybe with the ownership, whatever it is. I don't know if just firing Monty Williams is going to all of a sudden flip a switch for DeAndre Ayton, like, all right, fuck yeah, man, I'm going to play to my potential and drop 20 and 10. I don't know, man. So I think, and also the fact that they brought Bradley Beal on board, you've now got 4 guys earning big bucks. You got to get rid of Ayton, bring back some pieces who are nice complementary players to fill out the rest of the roster. Obviously, their biggest needs defense, and playmaking. So, and I guess a big as well if you get rid of him, right? Doesn't have to be like a high-level starting big, but just someone who can hold their own. And lastly, the Sacramento Kings. I think firstly, they need to upgrade that starting 2 and 4 spot because, well, right now, let's look financially. They have a bit of wiggle room to work with in free agency. They can bring some players on board. You know, they're not over the salary cap or anything like that. So they're in a pretty good position financially. Now, Kevin Huerter, much love to him, okay? But he is not a starting shooting guard on a team with serious championship aspirations, deep playoff run, whatever it is, okay? He's a defensive liability, and on a team that's already starting, Sabonis and Keegan Murray, who's is an average defender at best. You need to have as many strong defenders as possible. I don't think Huerter is that guy, especially if you already got a backup 2 in Malik Monk, who's just as good as Huerter offensively, if not better, okay? Like, you need more defense from that starting 2 spot. And secondly, that starting 4 spot, that's being occupied by Harrison Barnes right now. And both him and Trey Lyles, who kind of plays that backup 4/backup 5, they're both hitting free agency. Barnes is someone who I think is a good player, but on a team starting Domantas Sabonis, I don't think is the best fit alongside him at that starting 4 position. Like, I think about who would be a great fit. You look at Jokic and Aaron Gordon. You need that type of a player. Someone like a Jeremy Grant if he's made available, or if you want, take a gamble on a Jonathan Isaac. Someone who's like longer, rangier, more athletic, switchable, can block shots, all that kind of stuff. Barnes just isn't that guy. I think if the Kings do bring him back, he's probably better suited as a 6-man. So that's priority number 1, upgrade the 2 and 4 positions. Next, I think they got to improve the defense. Needless to say, I already pointed that out when I was mentioning, the 2 and 4 positions. So they have to increase the defense no matter what, because if you're starting Sabonis at the 5, you got to improve the defense, okay? And then lastly, you got to add a reliable backup big. Trey Lyles is pretty good. I actually think he's solid. He's not someone who's going to play the 5 particularly well. I think you got to add a reliable backup big, especially one that's defensive-minded, playing behind Sabonis. That would be a huge benefit. That's all I've got for all the teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs in the Western Conference, and what I think they should do to improve their team moving forward. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, okay? Like and subscribe to the channel. Please do. I would appreciate it very much. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.